Newsfirst at 9.
A very good evening to you. Welcome to this edition of Primetime News at 9, coming to you live on MTV Sport and Shakti TV from our Newsfirst Centre here in Colombo. I'm Shahin Jirampati.
And I'm Minoshi Ratnasekara. Let's start off with a look at your headlines.
Headlines on Newsfirst at 9.
The role of education is to transform the less talented into talented individuals, says President Rajapaksa. Fire at a temporary structure at the BMICH. Sri Lanka qualifies for a US waiver on Iranian oil sanctions. Minister Rohit Abegunawardena comments on the UNP.
මේ එක්සත් ජාතික පක්ෂයේ DS සේනානායක ඩඩ්ලි සේනානායකලා සර්ජන් කොතරාලා හදපු පක්ෂේ මේක මාපිල්ලොන්ට ඉවර කරන්න දෙන්න එපා.
News First at 9.
In local news, a temporary structure at the Bandaranaike Memorial International Conference Hall premises in Colombo was completely destroyed after it was engulfed in flames this morning.
Police media spokesperson SSP Ajit Rona said that the petrol leak from an equipment inside the structure was the cause for the fire.
Sahasak Nimeum, an exhibition organised by the Sri Lanka Inventors Commission, commenced this morning at the premises of the BMICH. Half an hour after the exhibition commenced, the temporary structure where a number of new inventions were placed in caught fire. The temporary structure was erected to facilitate various events that took place during the period in which the BMICH was undergoing renovations. The structure was also used as a media centre for the recently concluded Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting. Individuals who were present when the fire broke out attempted to douse the fire with the staff of the BMICH. However, their efforts proved futile. Later, 2 fire engines and 6 water bowsers were brought to the location to control the flames. The members of the Fire and Rescue Department managed to stop the fire from spreading throughout the BMICH complex. We were outside on the roof when we saw smoke coming from inside. About 30 seconds afterwards, the roof caught fire. My invention at the exhibition was one which checks the quality of wires. I even have a patent for it. My invention revealed that there is no earth wire for this building. And I told several people that the wiring was not up to standard. A number of inventions that were on display at the temporary structure were also destroyed. When we arrived here, the fire had already spread. It began in this building. We were able to stop the fire spreading from the hut to other buildings.
My brother grabbed the handbag and I grabbed the laptop. We ran out. All the others were also evacuated.
There were no emergency exits. The only exit was the main entrance. There was also no fire extinguishers. The Colombo Crimes Division has begun investigations into the fire together with the government analyst.
There was an invention in stall number 121. This invention was named Electric Hybrid Petroleum Cooker. This cooker was ignited at around 11:15. At that time, there was a leak of the petroleum gas from the tube that is supplying petrol to the cooker. Because this tube was not properly fixed, the fire had spread.
Upon receiving information about the fire, Presidential Secretary Lalit Veeratunga arrived at the location. This was a temporary structure built until renovations on the main hall were completed. We did not face such an issue till today. If there is something that needs to be done on behalf of the government, it will be done. The Ministry of Technology and Research notes that they will look into the damages caused to the new inventions and take necessary steps. Every state institution has fire extinguishing equipment. This happened because we trusted this fact. However, the issue is that this was a temporary structure and that the plastic and polythene ignited easily. We are conducting investigations. Since some of the inventions have been destroyed, we will reach a decision on how awards are to be given and announce it tomorrow.
According to the US State Department, Sri Lanka, along with several other countries, have qualified for exemptions to purchase Iranian crude oil. The US State Department extended 6-month Iran sanctions waivers to China, India, South Korea and other countries in exchange for their reducing purchases of Iranian crude oil earlier this year. Sri Lanka, Malaysia, South Africa and Singapore, which no longer purchase oil from Iran, also qualified for the exceptions. The waivers mean that banks in the consuming countries will not face being cut off from the US financial system for the next 6 months. Since the beginning of the sanctions regime in 2012, all 20 of Iran's oil customers have qualified for the periodic waivers. According to Secretary of State John Kerry, the exemptions could be taken up for consideration once more after a lapse of 6 months. However, Minister of Petroleum Industries Anura Priyadarshana notes that they have not received a clear explanation on the exemptions being offered by the US government. He noted that in addition to the US, the EU has also imposed restrictions on purchasing crude oil from Iran. Minister Anura Priyadarshana added that they have sought more information on the easing or restrictions from the US Embassy in Colombo.
That was the plight of a woman whose husband has gone missing out in the open seas. The Fisheries Department noted that they have not yet received any information on the 8 fishermen that went missing due to the Leah cyclone in the Bay of Bengal.
The Disaster Management Center notes that a separate group of fishermen who were stranded in the southern seas of the country have been rescued and are being brought back to land. The fishermen on board the Priyachami fishing vessel that set out from the Dondra Fisheries Harbour on the 20th of this month have been reported missing. The 5 fishermen on board the vessel had last made radio contact with land on the 24th. S.H. Priyanjit Milroy, a 37-year-old father of 4, had served as the skipper of the vessel. K.P. Chandrasuri, a 34-year-old father of 3, was also among the missing fishermen.
We live among many hardships. He is the breadwinner of the family. When my husband loses his job, we have no way of getting by.
D.H. Romulus, a father of 2, Surat Samudu, a father of 4, K.H. Janaka and E.J.K.P. Chaminda, the father of a 5-month-old infant, have been reported missing. Chaminda, who is not a fisherman by profession, had boarded the missing vessel to aid his friend.
This time too he decided to set out to sea, but he had told everyone that he will be coming back, but he did not say anything like that to me. If I had known, I wouldn't let him go. My only hope is that my husband be brought back to me because my child needs a father.
The brother of the individual who skippered the Priyachami vessel headed to the area where his brother was reported missing with the hope of uncovering information on the ill-fated vessel. He was not able to obtain any information of his brother, however managed to save 3 fishermen of another fishing vessel that had met with a technical difficulty.
He called before the accident and had said that the sea was getting rough. My youngest son had heard him saying that their vessel was in distress. My youngest son set out in the middle of the storm to find his brother. He had discovered a boat from Nigambo. My youngest son rescued 3 fishermen. When they were travelling back, they discovered my son's vessel had overturned. They had clearly identified the vessel and they had tried swimming into it. He said that the cabin was destroyed and there was no one inside the vessel.
The 3 fishermen that were rescued in this manner had set sail on the Pesan Sali 5 vessel from Nigambo. 2 others who were on board the vessel are said to be missing. Meanwhile, the Fisheries Department noted that 3 fishermen from the Tilon 7 fishing vessel that set out to sea from Dondra have been rescued by another fishing vessel.
The cyclone that blew across Andhra Pradesh has caused this. We did not receive information that it would affect Sri Lankan waters. Our vessels have been affected by the cyclone nearly 450 nautical miles off the coast of Trincomalee. This was unexpected. If there is some mistake on our part, then I will look into it tomorrow and take the necessary steps. However, according to the information I have received, there is no mistake on our part. We have sent messages to the international shipping community as well as India asking them to inform us of any information on the 8 missing individuals.
Well, now speaking at an event in Horana today, President Mahinda Rajapaksa said the role of education was to treat all children as equals and transform the less talented into talented children.
This event was organized to declare open the new 3-story building, which included a hall at the Vidyarthana Pirivena in Horana. The President's media unit said that this was the first occasion where a head of state had visited the Vidyarthana Pirivena during its 8-decade-long history. The importance of a school is not to gather all the talented children from across the country and showcase them. I believe that importance lies in transforming every single child into a talented child. These children are like gems. The value is evident only after it is polished and cleaned. These children are like that. The executive, legislature and judiciary are the 3 major arms of a government in a country. Now the media too is also considered to be of an equivalent force.
That's right. The reason for this is because the media plays the role of ensuring there is no cover-up over the root causes of the deterioration of society. For this task to be carried out, a country needs to ensure there is an environment for free and independent media.
Freedom of expression in developed nations is defined as the right to express one's ideas and opinions freely through speech, writing or any other form of communication. Every single human being is entitled to this right according to the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. This right includes the freedom of expression without any interference and to seek, review and impart information and ideas through any media regardless of frontiers. It is this freedom that entitles the media to report on the acts of the government and also rights and wrongs committed by other political parties, politicians, departments and other institutions. The presentation of scientific research, be it electronic or print, and laws that were compiled based in also indicates its strong format. The law of the country falls directly under the constitution of the country. Therefore, by imposing regulations of the freedom of expression and the freedom of the media, individuals and the media are treated as equal.
Only if media freedom prevails can a thorough investigation on these 3 institutions be conducted and the people be informed of it. It is only if the public knows this information that we can ensure the proper functioning of these institutions. It is the public that takes the final decision on these 3 institutions, especially the legislature and the executive.
According to the 2013 World Press Freedom Index as released by Reporters Without Borders, Sri Lanka is currently ranked at 162nd in the index. A number of European nations lead the index and several Asian countries with press freedom have also surpassed Sri Lanka in the index.
If there are influences on the freedom of media, if there is suppression against media, the democracy in that country cannot be ensured. The media is unable to act freely under the present circumstances of the country. Therefore, we are badly in need of freedom in the media in order to protect democracy in the country.